Hello again, and welcome back to the Book Dragon's Lair. As always, my name is Ronnie, and I'm the caretaker of the lair. Goodness, we made it through. We finished Battleground by Jim Butcher, book 17 in the Dresden Files series, and it was a wild ride, which we expected nothing less from this book. This is technically the second half of the book that should have been with Peace Talks and Battleground by Jim Butcher. But the publisher, as most of us know, required him to split it into two books by using the excuse of the page count was too high and the binding wouldn't work. As anyone who's ever read a Stormlight Archive book, we know that doesn't hold a lot of water, but maybe it's different from publisher to publisher. Who can say? Gonna trust them on this. I, for one, upon reread, am a little thankful that they did it this way. And I'll tell you why. But before that, let me give you my thoughts on Battleground on its own. Battleground is exactly that. It's the storm that the first book promised. There is carnage. You are in the muck with the characters. There is great loss in this book. Across multitudes. And I think that's set up fantastically in the previous book, Peace Talks. Now, that being said, Harry is playing in a whole different league than he has been before. And luckily, our guy here finally realizes he needs to learn more. He needs to get better. He needs to do better. He has bigger things at stake. And he's tired of losing and being the punching bag. And upon reflection, Harry's confidence in himself over the last few novels waned. And I think that was getting tiring, but I hadn't noticed it yet for me personally. But at least Jim Butcher, the author, realized, hey, it's time to have our boy realize time to step it up to that next level. And I'm very excited for the next book, 12 Months, which is going to be Jim Butcher's first foray into telling a Dresden story over a long period of time. Usually it's over a few days, maybe a week. You get a whole year here to really delve into the healing, the frustrations, and the day-to-day of Dresden. And I am very excited. Now, I gave Peace Talks a 5 out of 5. This one or a 10 out of 10, rather. I think I'm gonna give this one probably an 8 out of 10. It did a lot of things good, but it was the second half, kind of like Endgame, where I preferred the first installment better than I did with Endgame. And that's okay. That's the payoff of years of storytelling. Now, the reason I think these work very well as separate books is because Peace Talk, and I'll get these up here, was all the setup, development, and everything. And the ending of the book on my reread, I realized this is how I felt when I watched The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. And you know how they're standing at the end, they're looking out into the expanse, you know, that breath before the storm. That's Peace Talks. And you see and feel that coming. And then you get the battle, the resolution, and everything in Battleground. And they work really well together. If you're reading them as one book and you're just continuing, you don't get that pause to sit back and be like, man, this is going to be a lot coming for you here soon, that you get in Battleground, or that you would have. You just keep reading. And I would say the last Wheel of Time book is a perfect example of that. You have a lot of things happening, and then you have like 300 pages of the last battle. And it loses some of its punch because it just keeps going on and on. With that breath between books, doesn't feel like that. So anyway, I would give Battleground 8 out of 10 wands, or blasting rods, we'll say, because this is not that hairy. And as a whole, if we were to put it together, probably 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Very good 1-2 punch. 12 Months comes out next week, guys. I'll probably take a day off from reading, read something lighter. Possibly Gorgon the Crimson Witch. Might get that knocked out over the weekend. And then that palette will be ready for Dresden. So anyway, Battleground, Peace Talks, absolutely loved it. Phenomenal entry into the Dresden Files. What did you guys think of those books? Let's chat about it down below. in the comments. And as always, stay nerdy.